rules. All right, Rob, let's get into this. We talked about it yesterday, the NBA's ruling on Robert Sarver, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, came down yesterday afternoon, and the league gave him a 1-year suspension, can't participate in any type of activities for the team or the league, and a $10 million fine for there was numerous accusations of racist and misogynistic behavior, most of it misogynistic or just inappropriate for a workplace as well.
Yep.
And the league, the investigation, which was an independent investigation, said that everything that went on, they interviewed over 300 employees, past, present.
That's a lot of people, man. That's a lot.
And they said that they did not believe his motives, Sarver, were racist or misogynistic in nature. Now, let me say this, Rob, because yesterday I said I was okay with what they did, but I had not had a chance to read through any of the report, which was 36 pages.
And you got a chance?
It broke yesterday afternoon while I was on the air for First Things First, hustled home. We hit the air, and I just read the NBA statement where they kind of summarized
and bullet points.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I haven't even got through the whole thing yet, but I'm telling you, it's changed my mind, Rob, going through it. It's just stuff that, like, for instance, the N-word reference, right, where he said the N-word 5 times in telling stories, or according to him, repeating other people. Well, it wasn't in the NBA's little summary, but 4 of those times came after he had been told, not that you necessarily need to be told, but to me it makes a difference. He had been told by black and white employees,
don't do that.
Like, hey, it's not, even if you're just relaying what you heard, it's not appropriate for you to say that. And he kept doing it, so that makes it worse to me. That shows just defiant, I'm going to say this because I can, even
I'm
though
the owner.
it's racist
I own this
and
piece.
bothers everybody. Right,
I own this piece. I'll do what I want.
Yep. And then, Rob, there's other stuff, but also he sent a photo of a nude woman and of 2 people engaging in sex to some of his employees, high-ranking male employees. You're sending pornography to your owners, your bosses sending pornography to people.
Chris,
Come on. And then reference, like, at a staff meeting. Listen to this. At a staff meeting, he told the story of how he learned about oral sex as a child. Come on, man. Like, this is ridiculous.
Terrible.
And so I actually do think that the calls for him to lose his ownership are warranted after reading this. Now, there's a lot we'll get into why they weren't or didn't do it, maybe. But we'll get into that next. But what sparked us to talk about this today, Rob, and let me say this too. I was talking to some people around the league, GMs and executives, and they were like, even if they couldn't, because they feel like they didn't take his ownership, the other owners didn't vote on it because there was no smoking gun, no audio tape, no videotape, anything like that. And we've talked a lot about how that makes it worse.
It does.
In the public's eye.
When people see it or hear it for themselves, Chris, there's no gray area.
Right.
If you remember the Ray Rice, I remember guys saying, well, I don't know what she did in there. I don't know what happened, when he dragged her out. But once you saw him slug her, Chris, it was no.
Right. And with Donald Sterling, we had
the tape.
Audio tape. If you had audio tape of Sarver saying this, repeating the N-word,
right?
Even if he was just telling a story, I bet the public backlash would be different. It would be more more overt, so to speak. But even the executives were telling me, even if they couldn't take away his team, and I agree with what they were saying, at the very least, they couldn't go beyond $10 million. But you could have made the suspension 3 or 4 years. And then he may want to sell anyway.
Right, which would have made it hard to come back after that.
Right. And so, yeah.
Here's my thing. Adam Silver, has fake
Well, you want to hear his quote first? Because
Yeah,
it'll be good
fine.
for you to go into. You come out of that. He was asked today at a press conference why, a normal employee might be fired or would be fired for all these things that Sarver done as the owner. And here's why Adam Silver said the team wasn't taken, even though a regular employee would be fired.
There are particular rights here of someone who owns an NBA team as opposed to somebody who's an employee. The equivalent of a $10 million fine and a 1-year suspension, I don't know how to measure that against a job. I don't have the right to take away his team. I don't want to rest on that neat legal point because, of course, there could be a process to take away someone's team in this league. It's very involved. And I ultimately made the decision that it didn't rise to that level.
All right, Rob, go ahead.
We got a tweet. Rob G, jump in. LeBron just tweeted something, Chris, before I say this. Rob G, you got it?
I do. LeBron James, seconds ago, read through the Sarver stories a few times now. I got to be honest, our league definitely got this wrong. I don't need to explain why. Y'all read the stories and decide for yourself. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. There is no place in this league for that kind of behavior.
There you go.
I love this league and I deeply respect our leadership, but this isn't right. There is no place for misogyny, sexism, and racism in any workplace. Don't matter if you own the team or play for the team. We hold our league up as an example of our values, and this ain't it.
Can I say this?
Yep. I agree
well
with you.
said, LeBron James. Come on, Chris.
LeBron.
Give it up.
LeBron. No
right?
doubt.
You always
doubt.
say I'm anti-LeBron. Give it up.
Well, you are, but still. But no, he deserves this.
He nailed it, Chris.
He's the face of the league. Because we were going to go, Rob, that the players are really the only ones that can turn this thing now.
And that's what I was going to say when I said Adam Silver has fake muscles. Because he works for the owners. We understand that, Chris, don't we? They pay his salary. He works for the owners. But the reason they moved on Donald Sterling was not just because they had the audio tape. That hurt Donald Sterling for sure, Chris. There's no doubt about it. But when the players called Adam Silver and said they were going to stop the playoffs and they weren't going to play if Donald Sterling was allowed to continue as owner, that's when he went to the other owners, Chris, and said, we're going to have a problem. We're going to lose millions of dollars. The players are not going to play if this guy is still one of the owners. And what did the owners do? They quickly threw Donald Sterling on the others overboard. And, Chris, we talked about it yesterday.
Because remember, all Adam Silver could do was give him a lifetime ban. The owners, it was still up to them
to vote,
to basically push him to sell the team.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying is it's about the players.
Yep.
If the players don't make a stink about him sticking around, then Sarver gets to come back. If they say, no, he can't be an owner, we're not playing for him or playing games, I refuse. I'm not going to Phoenix. If this guy's going to be an owner, dude, it takes 2 seconds.
Oh, he'll
Chris.
be gone.
He's gone.
No question about
LeBron
it.
says, I'll play every game of the year. I'm not going to Phoenix, and when the Suns come here, I'm not playing. Those 2 games.
And they also could just be like, we're not playing until he's not owning the team.
Exactly.
Period.
That would,
like, we're not playing game.
Any game. And, Chris, how long would that take? It'd take 2 minutes.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So, bravo to LeBron. Definitely get props for that. This is one of his stronger statements to me.
No doubt.
Because some of the stuff, he's always, the Trayvon Martin stuff was good when he wore, the hoodies and everything. But I think this is strong. This is strong coming from
big
LeBron.
time.
So
if you listen to the tweet, I think he hit a home run. I think he hit a home run. He covered all the bases. It's not acceptable, Chris, not from an employee or an owner. Not this league sets an example of caring for all, standing up for all, and not having this kind of stuff go on. It's not good enough. And we'll see how the players respond now that this is out. The cat's out the bag now.
Yeah. Well, LeBron could organize. I'm sure they can organize enough players to come, and maybe some will just come out and support him anyway. which
not
I imagine will happen.
Right. Not at
but
this out.
they certainly can organize behind the scenes as well. All right, let's throw it out to the listeners. 877-9905. Right, we didn't even get to just the whole notion of, when people own something, should they have rights and privileges? They obviously do because they own a company, but you still need to treat people with respect.
Chris, think about the Donald Sterling situation.
Tone like that.
He didn't break any laws, Chris.
Well, it was a private conversation
with his side piece. Let's just be honest.
Right. It was right.